export a similar one or exactly the same thing as this, it's pretty easy. We just need to go ahead and start with this one, whichever one you want to start with, but we want to also ensure that we arrange it in the order of which they are in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it from here, where I am now going to pull in my data. So let's see which data we want to use. I have my sample superstore here, and I'm just going to bring that in. So here we are, and when we go to data, we should see it's pulled in here, right in here. We have everything stated here. The new one that I added is also showing up here because this data or this has already been uploaded. So we can now go ahead and work with this data. With regards to the very first thing that we need to do in creating this report, as it's being shown here, it states smart apply first. So I'm just going to do this very first one. We should see our text box here, and then that is what we are going to use. I'm just going to go ahead and state smart apply, whichever thing you want to use. So let's see which one we want to do. We don't necessarily have to do the same thing, but you know, a similar one. So I'm just going to use that, and we should have it here. Let's see which one I can use, which is almost the same as the one we have there. Let's see, there you go. Okay, and maybe I want to bolden that. I'll just go ahead and do that. And what if you want to change the color? So let's see, I just want to do this color to have a similar one, and there you go. You see this here, and it looks the same. The next thing that we should be looking at is the smart apply logo itself. So in bringing that in, you will be seeing that pop up a lot of times, so just take note of that. So sorry about that. And when bringing that in, we should have this text box. So in the text box, I won't do the smart logo, but what if I want to do something with regards to the little words that we saw? So let's talk about what they do, which is job efficiency. And then let's say the other one is resume reviews. And the other one maybe is school application. So just making reference to the services which takes place with regards to this. Let me pull this a little up here. And there you go. Now from here we can bring in the logo. And bringing the logo, we just come to the insert button and we see an image here. And from there, we should be able to see our logo from here, where you are able to now pick that and pull it somewhere here. So that makes it pretty easy. Just gonna go ahead and give it that little, there you go. What if you also want to go ahead and have your sales? So right from here, as soon as you just do this and you have your data, you will be able to see what you want to bring here. But the question is, what do you want to do? So with regards to this, I want to go ahead and bring in my smart card in order for me to pull my KPIs. And that's I'm bringing here. And I am doing for the smart card, I just want it to show sales. So I am just going to go ahead and click this and it shows me the amount only for sales and prepares the smart card for me. Oops, just give it a little, there you go. There you go, beautiful. You can go ahead and copy this and paste again and drag by doing Ctrl C, Ctrl V in order for you to have a different value in there. So I'm unchecking the sales and I want to do, let's say, profit. There you go. So profit now shows just by the side of sales. Now coming here, there is another one which states count of customer ID. Let's look at that one too as well. In the count of customer ID, we should, let me create a little space here. Sorry about that. There you go. The count of customer ID. Let's look at this. When you plan on bringing your count of customer ID, where you have stated this, as soon as you go to customer ID, you see what happens. It just shows you just this first value of the customer ID. But you want it to count, so that is where you now come to the arrow button here, and it should show you count distinct. Count distinct simply means that you want it to give you the unique values and not all the values in general. So I'm just going to pull that up here and get in this. You should be ready for more pop-ups, but I'm just going to ensure to keep most of the things in my head so that we don't, move between pages. The next thing here is what we can see here, which is the table. And then, of course, you can see from this side, it also states the category and sum of profit. And that is the horizontal chart. And then we have the donut chart. So we are keeping three things in mind for this particular line, which is the table. And then we have the horizontal chart. And then we have this. And that is what we call the clustered bar chart. I don't want to be calling it horizontal bar chart. Horizontal chart. So that's the clustered bar chart, and then we have the donut chart here. So we are going to do these three things, and we should be able to now come to the next one. So moving to that, we just want to know which cities and what is the amount of profit in terms of those particular cities. What if we want to do the top 5 or maybe the top 10? We will look at that as well. So coming to that, we should be able to find the table. Yep, the table visualization here, where it states. So you can see the very first one here. We can have our customer ID. And then what if we have the cities in there as well? So in having that, we should be able to have our customer ID, and then we state our city, and we go ahead and look at the profit for each of these. And that is it here. I just want to do this, and at the same time too, just want to show you how you can do the top 5 or top 10. You can do the top 5 by showing this, or you can just go ahead and do oops, there you go, or do the top 10. So it's just pretty simple when it comes to Power BI in general. If you recall, our next chart has to do with the clustered. So we're just going to look at that, and that should be this very one that we have here. So I'm just going to bring that in, I don't want anything changing our chart. So I'm just gonna, the good thing is that as soon as you are in there, what you want to do is that you want to click out, so that when you click any of these, it doesn't fall back in that same space. So that is the reason I'm doing this, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring in the clustered bar chart, and that shows next. So with the clustered bar chart, what if we want to look at the set of categories and the amount of profit being made for each of these category? And that is what we have here, where it's stating these very one. There you go, I love it. And it shows you three things, which is the technology, the office supply, and as well as the furniture. Now when you click out, you can now bring in your donut chart. And for your donut chart, this is where, let me just go ahead and increase this a little bit. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to do the same for this. Pull the sides of it. There you go. And for this very one, what we are looking at should be the regions. So let's say we want to know for each region how much sales we've made for each region. So I can now go ahead and click the region and just click the sales, and it shows it up here beautifully. Looking at the next thing, be ready for the pop-up. Looking at the next thing should be sum of sales by region, and then the sum of sales by category and region, and then the sum of discount by segment. And this very one, you can see for a fact it makes a vast difference in terms of, the sum of sales by region. I see to be almost the same as this because it talks similarly with regards to the region. You can see here, of course, we didn't use the clustered, but we went ahead to use something with regards to the charts up here. So you can see here it states this very one. This one is the stacked, sorry. I think I'm pulling this on the already made report, so sorry about that. So what if we want to do the clustered? Let's try doing the clustered. Or what if we want to do the stacked? Let me look at that one. The interesting thing is that, as you can see, it shows several areas, and for those several areas tells you that you may be needing more dimensions on a particular measure. So that is the reason it's this way. So I just want to change that and use the clustered, and this is how it comes up. Now with this very one, we want to now go ahead and get our region, which is our dimension, ready, and then go ahead and bring in our sales, and you can see it shows the sum of sales by region. The other one now talks about the other one now talks about this very one. The reason I like it a lot is because it makes reference to the stack bar chart, or it makes reference to, some people also call it a clustered bar chart, but I believe there is a difference. The reason being that when you look at this very one, the stack bar chart, you look at the 100% stack bar chart also here lies the case that you want to ensure that there are multiple dimensions for each one of them. As soon as I did this, it is now showing me something different with regards to the regions. and those regions, how they relate with regards to the technology. So for technology, how much sales is being done, or how much sales or amount of technology is being bought. I'm just going to go ahead and just keep it just as it is, as the 100% stack bar chart, and then we look at it in the next one. Okay, so here I can now go ahead and bring the 100% stack bar chart. I am going to do this where there is the first sales, and then for the sales, right after we are done with the sales, you can now go ahead and look at the y-axis. And for the y-axis, what I want to bring here is a category, and then that means we have to add another dimension, and that I brought the region, which is stating that we want to know how sales affect region, and at the same time we also want to know how sales affect category. So it is the measure against the dimension, but the dimension is not supposed to be just one, it's supposed to be two or more. I'm just going to go ahead and now bring the next one using the same cluster, but this time we want to look at how it affects quantity in general. So in general, let's see, when we are talking about categories, or when we are talking about regions, let's see which one we used here. Okay, so here we looked at the sum of discount by segment, so we are just going to use the same thing. So sorry about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and take out, okay, I've already removed that out, so just going to go ahead and use segments, and then we look at the measure, which is the discount. Oh, this is what happened. So sorry about that. Let me just go ahead and move this. There you go. And then I'm just going to go inside this to make the edits from there. There. Good. So I'm now going to remove quantity. And then that simply means that I'm just going to look at those two things I mentioned earlier, which is segment, and the other one is discount. And this is what we have for the sum of discounts by segment. So being able to prepare this report within the shortest possible time is very important. That simply means that you need to know where your tools are in order to help you to create this less than 10 minutes.